Let me explain to you guys a little bit how this works. The air comes through the intake, hits the mass airflow sensor that measures the temperature and the volume of air. Then the ECU reads that and says, okay, put this amount of fuel in the motor through the injector so that the air to fuel mixture is right. Well, when you add a blow-off valve, you have the air that's not being recirculated anymore. So then the ECU has a rich condition that's usually followed by a lean condition because the ECU doesn't know, how much volume of air is coming anymore. So it's constantly, you're like have a closed loop, and then you take out that piece in the closed loop, and then it gets to that point and goes, uh-oh, what do we do? Then you run a little bit rich, and then you run a little bit lean, and then it figures out what to do once you get on the gas again. So it gets confused, and it's trying to learn the tune the ECU is and what to do with the tune depending on your temperatures and your fuel quality. So when you take that little piece out of the closed loop, you can confuse your ECU with the tune over time. So, if you're gonna run a blow-off valve, you run that risk of running a little bit lean here and there or a little bit rich here and there. That's why you have some pops and bangs. But you have to understand that's what's going on. You're confusing your ECU. That's why it runs rich. That's why it might run a little bit lean. You might be able to not notice it running lean, but it is what it is. I've talked to quite a few tuners in the area, calling them and asking questions, and they say it's really not a big deal if you run a blow-off valve on a stock setup. But do they recommend it? No. They said they can for sure tune it to run a blow-off valve, although they do recommend, recirculating systems with these cars because that's what they come with and that's what they run best with. But do you really have to do that? No, you can totally get a tune for it. So would it be bad to slap a blow-off valve on for a day and hear what it sounds like? Absolutely not. You're not going to damage your motor. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to blow up. But if you're going to run it long-term, you're going to run a lot of PSI through it. You're going to build the car like you want to be building it. Totally get a tune and have it properly running for that blow-off valve. So I hope that answers the question. Do it, but do it right. If you spent this much money on one of these cars, don't stop here. I'd totally just wait and do it all at once. So.
Okay, another important issue I just want to bring up and touch base on is in the Ecutech software, there are clearly parameters set up in there and with tuner knowledge where they can go in and tune. If you're going to run blow-off valves, there's just some things that they can go in and make sure, are set up right. And if you choose not to run blow-off valves, they can go in and set that up with wastegate and other parameters to make sure your car runs just fine with or without. So that is important to know. And it's also good to know that you trust your tuner, where when you said, hey, I'm going to do this, will you make sure the car is running correctly, and to make sure that they have the knowledge how to do that. Some tuner may go, yeah, I'll take care of that, and they don't have an idea on how to do that correctly, and then they don't address it. So then you go run your car for the next year or two, and it hasn't been tuned in to that software or to the engine management software. So just important to know that you've got to have a really good tuner, and you've got to have some trust and faith in that tuner to set everything up appropriately and correctly. So that's important to note. So I'm just going to go back to my past experience with a previous tuner. I did not have the faith that they went in and set up certain things, even though I mentioned details to them. So another reason why I switched tuners, and I think that I've got the right tuner and everything's being addressed now. So important to note, and I just want to bring this to everyone's attention. Have a good day.